Eddie Alvarez in a recent interview speaks on a potential matchup between Conor McGregor and Justin Gaethje. He said that if they ever fought, Conor McGregor would KO Justin Gaethje. Speaking to the score, he went on to say, I think it will be a knockout, you know. Like I was able to catch him quite a bit with punches, and he watched Dustin was able to box him a little bit. The thing with Justin is that if I thought he would implement a ground game and he was going to go in there and take Conor down and like put him against the cage and do that, kinda do what Khabib did or do what I intended to do, if he was gonna implement that game, I would say that Justin's going to do really well against him. But standing for standing like a stand-up fight, which was what I feel like it'll end up being, I feel like there's just too many mistakes that Justin will make and Conor will be able to kinda capitalize. At the UFC on ESPN 8 post-fight press conference, Dana White gives his thoughts on the main event between Alistair Overeem versus Walt Harris.
Yeah, I felt like, I said to you guys a few days ago, win, lose, or draw, being here is a win for him. He got through tonight, and you have to understand that who knows what was going through that guy's body, head, the whole deal. And he got him in trouble. I think when he watches the tape, he'll realize he overreacted a lot and, should have slowed down and picked his shots. But you're in there against, one of the all-time greats in the heavyweight division, true veteran of the sport. He weathered the storm and he did what Overeem does. And this is a learning experience in a lot of ways for Walt in his first fight back. And, he'll get better from this. In every way you can be better, from fighting to the other things that's going on with him. Yeah, exactly how you would expect him to feel right now. I think probably take him an hour to sit down and calm down, process what happened, and then when he goes back and watches the tape of the fight, he'll know all the mistakes that he made. During the fight, I was like, damn, when did he get a super heavyweight chin? And recovered. Yeah, he looked good,
After Claudio Gadelha won a split decision over Angela Hill, Carla Esparza posted this on Twitter saying, "Let's run it back. Leave the grease at home this time, at Claudio Gadelha." Here's how Claudio Gadelha reacted to the tweet.
I heard, man, it's 2020, the sport, it's evolving so much. Come on, I have the commission athlete following me, to the time I step in the octagon to the time the fight it's finished. How the am I gonna grasp? Carla Esparza, stop with the excuses and let's get back in there again. Right now, I wouldn't say much, because everybody's going through crazy times and it's tough to train, it's tough to do anything. I don't know how the camp was, but the fight, not a lot of things happened at that fight, so I can't say much.
At UFC on ESPN 8, Uriah Faber made a surprise appearance and weighed in just in case his teammate Song Yadong couldn't make it to the fight. Here's what he had to say at the post-fight press conference.
It's kind of a long story, but basically, when they put these fights together, a lot of things could happen, and there was a issue right off the bat, and I think it was good for Song. Song really was, because our gym has been closed. We took the quarantine real strict. There's about 8.5 weeks where has no one to train with, and he's just doing his own thing at home. And so the idea of fighting on short notice to him was oh no. And I had to, I think it's good for this kind of stuff. It's good for a young guy's mentality to say, look, I want to show you what you can do in 2.5 weeks. So we got on a crazy running schedule and did all this stuff that was like a jump start into basically a miserable process for him to make sure that he could go with a guy that's been preparing for 16 weeks or whatever. Marlon's running 15 miles a day, and Song's is all fluffy from eating Chinese food. So I told Shelby, yeah, we'll take the fight. And then the slightest little bit of pushback, and Shelby's having to do with all this different stuff, and he's like, somehow Cheeto heard that Song backed out and put a tweet out that said Song's a and Uriah jump in, and so that put it in my head I said, Shelby, just keep on trying to get this fight for Song. Worst case scenario, I'll be there. And before I left, we were told everything was okay. So I wasn't trained or anything. I was standing on the side while he's doing sprints on the treadmill, and I'm watching these guys spar. I did jump in and do 3 rounds, one with Cody, one with Song, and I think a second one with Song, and I did a couple of grind matches for 15 minutes. That was all I did. But I was like, you know what? I always preach to these guys, look, because they like to overthink, like, was this perfect? Was that perfect? I told Cody this a long time and talk about it after practice. If a guy slaps you in the back of the head, grabs your girl's butt, and takes your beer, are you going to worry about if everything was perfect? Or are you going to whoop him? And so I kind of go into that mentality. I've built a skill set over a long time. I was not going to make 145 pounds because I was here 162 or 61 the night before when I got the call. And so I was like, all right. They're like, well, how much you weighing? I said, like 162. And he's like, can you get to 55? So I was like, all right. And so I skipped dinner and lost like 7 pounds in the next morning and was ready to rumble.
And Matt Serra on the UFC Unfiltered podcast speaks on Dominick Cruz's criticism of referee Keith Peterson.
Jimmy, you know what else is interesting? That Cruz is doubling down on the criticism of Keith Peterson, the ref.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? I know Keith personally. He's not a... what is he? He's saying that it concerned him because he smelled of alcohol and cigarettes and that he wouldn't look him in the eyes. Is that... Could that be... I mean, I know this guy forever, dude. I don't think he'd smell like alcohol and cigarettes. I mean, really? No. I mean, I don't know if the guy smokes. I mean, I just don't know if it's a good... I mean, I know he's upset with him, but I don't know if it's a great look. But I know it's... I mean, at the end of the day, he took that knee and was in that position to put the ref in that position. So it's like you're putting it... I heard him say that he takes responsibility for that, and that's the biggest thing. He took that. It's not like the fight was really going his way up until then, right? But it must be. Listen, I see his point. It must be frustrating. I see both sides. I see Keith's point of, you know, I mean, Aljo just said he saw 13 hits to the back of the head, whatever it was, hits to the. I'm sorry, unanswered strikes, not hits to the back of the head. And then he steps in. He did go to step in before. So once you make that decision, it's hard to say, oh no, now you're getting up, let me jump back out. It's too late. So I don't know. There's that. And then there's also Dominick feeling, you know, that he put all that work in and didn't get a fair shake at it.
Yeah, this is my beer.
Appreciate your support, guys, and thank you very much. All right.
Te vas a cerrar aquí. Vamos. Se pinto. Don't get out of balance. You always keep your balance. Keep that short jab, long jab. Boom. Pinto right.